Okay, this is Penny's 7th session, so now I've completely transitioned to her being at Liberty, so I just took her halter off, took the rope off. She was pretty much doing everything at Liberty in that last video, so I just went ahead and did that. So my trailer is back up to my arena. Like, I have two separate gates for my arena. One is specifically for my trailer, and the other one's just to get in there. So she could leave, she could go wander around the arena if she wanted to. She doesn't necessarily have to be in the trailer, but she can come out and be in a safe area. So she's gone in on her own, and then she's just staying and targeting her head in that corner, and then like I have to help her out a little bit to kind of even her out here and get her like lined up next to the divider. But again, we're just doing the same kind of thing. I'm just going to the edge of the trailer, clicking, and then coming up and feeding her. And I've shortened the distance that I leave because now she is at Liberty, so I just wanted to make sure she was solid with this. Some horses are going to be the same when you have a halter and a lead rope on, but you're not holding onto the lead rope because they still feel caught. But if you take that halter off, they might just kind of leave more. They don't feel like they have to be there as much. So it is important, if you do start taking off like your bridle or your halter or whatever, that you go back a few steps and make sure that that behavior is solid. So I'm just going to be going back, like having her stand and target while I leave and get to the end of my trailer, and then I'm going to start adding up the amount of time that she can wait. So the idea here is that it's going to take me time to unlatch the divider, move the divider, and get it into position. So what I want to do first, before I start doing all those things, is building up some time so when I leave, it's not I leave and then come back immediately every time. It's like I leave and then I start adding up the seconds. So like I could start moving the divider, or I could start shutting that back door, and I have that time built in, versus me just, okay, I can come to the back of the trailer and now I can start messing with the divider, because I'm adding two things at that point if I don't just do the time separately. I'm adding time and I'm adding movement of the divider or the door. So I want to do each thing separately. So I think now I've gone outside of the trailer and I'm going around the outside and feeding her through the front. There's a front, obviously there's slits in the top. I don't have the drop down windows, so I'm feeding her from the front there. So you can do that too. You don't have to. That's a good option for like building up time. So like I can go to the back of the trailer, and then I can click her, and then I can go around the trailer, and then I can click her and come back in, and then I can go halfway around, and then I can start feeding her through that front. So because I might be doing that when I'm traveling or whatever. It's just a good thing for them to know, so it's not like you're always in one position. I'm not always feeding her from inside the trailer, so that is an important thing to think about too. But that's kind of my goal with the divider here and the plan, because I want to start messing with that next, but I don't want to do too many things at once. And adding the amount of time that she can stand in the trailer on her own and start moving the divider is going to be too much, I think. So I'm just kind of feeding her from the outside a little bit, but you really can't see, so I'm just going to fast forward through this a little bit. Oh, there I came back. So, but that was kind of what was going on there. It's just hard to tell from this angle, but um, I don't have to do that a lot. I just want her to get used to the idea that I could be in different places and she could earn rewards in different places. So this looks really nice. So you can see me, she's staying in that position and I'm feeding her from the outside of the trailer.
Good girl.
So that looks great. Like I'm completely all the way out and she's all on her own. She's not moving. She's staying there. She wants to be in the trailer. She has options. She could back out. She could turn around. She could do whatever, but she chooses to stay here. So that looks perfect.
Girl.
So I want to be able to touch her all over as well, because I'm going to start messing with that divider and I'm going to be touching her and getting to that point. So, and previously when I would trailer her, when I brought her home, like she gets on the trailer okay, but she was really worried about the divider part. So moving the divider, stuff like that. I think she was just a little claustrophobic about having that move around. So just touching on her, making sure she's cool with me being able to walk behind her, touch her hips, touch her hindquarters, touch her tail. Those kind of things are important too. That's just another little baby step on the way to getting to shut the divider. So I'm gonna ask her to back out. So I just kind of use like a little chest cue, and she backs out really slowly and nicely here. She doesn't need the halter rope, and she'll go halfway, and then I'll reinforce her so she's not going super fast. If you have a horse that really wants to go out super fast, you might have to click and treat them a little bit sooner, but then she'll go right back into position on her own, and that looks fantastic. And I kind of help her out, cue her over. I just kind of had to do an arm cue. I didn't really even need to touch her. That looks fantastic. So huge difference from the beginning. We've been steadily making progress. She was actually pretty easy compared to the like the horses I have now. As far as trailer loading goes, she was pretty straightforward. So this is a pretty easy one. If you watch the other horses that I have, specifically the Mustangs and the Dakota, those are going to be cases where that's a little bit more difficult than this. So she kind of wants to think about turning that way. I'm just going to kind of block her, help her out. When she straightens out, I'll click and feed her. That looks really good. And she's waiting for me. I'm going to reinforce this so that she's not rushing on the trailer. That was one of the things she used to do. So this looks much better.